Over on Facebook, on the Black Girls Magic page, they shared this post that says single women own 2.7 million more homes in America than single men, study shows. So this is a Black Girl Magic page, and they posted this, and this is not a negative post. So I've actually already talked about this. I've shared a couple of articles that is talking about how single woman ownership is up and how it's been up basically since women have been able to get a home and credit in their name on their own. So women have been doing this for a while on their own. But that's not the point of today's post. I want to share with you some of the reaction. Once again, this post in itself is not really negative. Women are literally just out here living and working and just doing things. Okay, so keep in mind, like I said, this is the Black Girl Magic page. So yay, we are celebrating women. So we have Charlene coming in saying, we are the tables, chairs, and the whole house and home. So it's more like, yay, let's go women. And then you got Tony saying, y'all not even the light fixture. Sorry, sister. That why it stay single men. Oh, okay. And Boba says to Tony, they say dumb stuff like that, but then they still cry women are held back. And the crazy thing is women are doing this despite the actual wage gap, despite the fact that we are in a patriarchy. Women are still doing it. And so that is a testament to women to still be able to jump up and make these accomplishments. And it shows in data. So women are not just making this stuff up. We're not just like saying our opinions on things. It's actually backed up by the numbers. So here's Tony again saying to Charlene that y'all the whole divorcing user, because they can't wrap their head around the fact that women are out here doing it by themselves without somehow stealing it from a man. And to that, Boba says, you don't even have a pic of yourself, to Charlene. You don't even have a pic of yourself, but you want to act as if you're smart. You're smart. Stanley says, yeah, from child support. Like it has to be either from divorce or child support, because they really out here acting like women are getting so much money in child support. All right, he says, yeah, from child support and being able to save y'all money because of the government assistance. And let's not forget tax money from all the children. And they have not kept up on stats that say that the birth rate is going down. And anybody can put in for these government assistance programs to get a down payment for a house. We got another man, Philip. Those single women divorced those men and took the home from the man whom worked his entire life to achieve. Source, Department of Labor, divorce courts, and the list goes on. And to that, my homie Rain says, wrong. These are single women, not divorced women, never married women. You are delusional. They really, even when a woman gets divorced, if she has been married, that means that she's putting into the marital assets. She's pouring into the home. So she gets half of the home. But these men think that a woman getting her part of the marital assets means that the man just loses everything. The women in a marriage actually pours into the house as well. Women work. Why they won't come into like 2025 is beyond me. Nika says the study stated single women, not single divorced women. Like literally, it's like making their brains blow that single women are actually buying a home to the point where they come into a woman's space and are this completely negative. Tori told Philip, really? Because I bought my home after I got rid of the parasite I married. James says, yeah, 80% of them for sure, plus selling cat. They like literally, they do not believe that women are out here doing this. Jade had to let them know, single, not divorced. Single means not married. Tracy says, wow, it's some salty men on this thread. Here's my homie Rain saying, of course they hate us and they hate us not needing them because now we are not forced to be with them. We make our own money. That means they have to actually be a good person, a good partner, participate in the relationship, and as a parent, they have to treat their partner like a human being that he values, respects, cares about, and loves to have, and keep a woman, and they hate it. They hate it. They hate to have to participate and treat us well and like do their part in the household. They want us to have to be forced to be with them again so that they can mistreat us, cheat, abuse, and use us, and we are stuck with them. They can still get our unpaid labor, our care, our bodies, and companionship while they only contribute half on the bills, if that. Now that women can buy our own houses, we have credit, we work, and all of that, and women are out here just doing it and not waiting on them, they're failing and flailing. They are really freaking out about this, and so they jump into these comment sections to shame women. It's not working. You can see by the difference in the commentary. Women are like, yay, let's go, and men are like, you're not doing that for real. It's such a difference in, like, we live in two different reality worlds. It's that's basically it, because they don't see women as being capable. They don't see women achieving things, and women are just silently going out there and achieving things. This graph is based on numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau, and the green is single female home ownership rates, and the blue is single male home ownership rates. And women have been outpacing men for a while. Look at 1985, there was a huge gap. So women have been above the men's line for a long time, like forever. Now, like I said before, married couples, buy houses together typically, but single women are outpacing men. And I don't even know why they are pushing back on this so hard. It is simply just numbers. Tanya says the fact that every man in the comments is offended by this and is working overtime to invalidate or diminish it is proof they need us to need them, and they're angry we don't. And then Tranquil says, girl, I'm perplexed at how they stalk this page. Keep in mind, this is the Black Girl Magic page. They stalk this page just to sling insults on every post. It's awful that supposed men are this catty and bitchified. I wouldn't use bitchified because I like to turn it into something masculine, but they're certainly catty. They're certainly very mean-spirited, and this is not going to help them achieve anything more. I'm not going to show any more mean-spirited insults or comments from the men. I'm just happy that within the last 50 years, with women just taking a few of these rights that we had to fight for, have been able to accomplish so much in such a short time. Women still haven't gotten all of the rights, and they are simply still trying to chip away at the rights that we have won. But just in that short amount of time, women have been able to accomplish so much. And it's a testament to our fortitude, to the fact that we are just willing to stick with it and accomplish things despite the obstacles put in place by men. And I am here for this, and I'm here to celebrate women for our accomplishments. All right, y'all. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So I follow this woman named Mary Massandras over on Threads, and she shared a screenshot from Horticia Adams. Funny name, definitely had to go follow her. But she says, Mary Massandra says, this is what I call export, when a man suddenly puts in all his effort when he's about to become an ex. Man population at its finest. Expert definition: the sudden burst of effort, energy, and emotional growth a man only displays post-breakup, usually too little, always too late. Now, let's get to Horticia's screenshot. She says, I woke up to this man doing dishes while playing our wedding playlist. All I had to do was go see a divorce lawyer for some effort. This is called love bombing, and I'm not going to fall for it. But I do love a clean house, and my playlist is all bangers. So she knows that he is about to attempt to love bomb her, and she's clocking it right now. I went and followed Horticia, and I am going to get to some of the comments on her post because it has over 350. But first, let's do a couple of these comments under the Married Massandra's post. I am JJ Amore says, sadly, it's not too late for many, at least not the first time. You often have to fall for this hot and cold game many times to realize it's just that, Throw your cards in. So she's talking about that hot and cold game. This is a game that they play. They do enough to reel you back in. And then once they think that you are cool, like, whew, she settled back down, then they do it again. It is a cycle. We have to talk about it so that women don't continue to fall for it. The child-free Ainge says, I'm so grateful I filed for divorce. Reading all these stories, seeing that other women have gone through the same thing has helped so much. Now that women are throwing off the shame and saying, I don't care, I'm going to talk about it, I think it's helping to form a community so that other women can see that they are not abnormal or their situation is not extraordinary, and that, sometimes relationships fall apart, and to stop trying to hold everything together and hold everything in for the purposes of, taking pictures or trying to appear to be something that you're not or whatnot. I'm glad that women are talking about this in a community space. And Ashley says, I certainly would play the playlist on the way to the courthouse. So she's having none of it. So like I said, I went over to Hortitia's post. She has over 340 comments. The Married Misandrist is the first one that I came across, talking about the sudden burst of effort, energy, and emotional growth a man only displays post breakup, usually too little, always too late. Destination Diana, she says, I moved halfway across the country to make sure that I went through with the divorce. She says she knew she had to get away because these people are very tactical when it comes to love bombing. Women need to open their eyes and understand what will happen, that they don't play fair. They will continue to try to reel you in. You have got to be prepared for their tactics. And Destination Diona was not here for it. So Elsie Baby says, I moved in with my parents, got a boyfriend, and moved my stuff into a storage unit to make sure I divorced this man. So she had a checklist. Beauty is her name says, I packed everything that would fit in my car and drove from Idaho back down to Texas. It was not a game. I left it all and got it right back because it's in me, not on me. People can't stand when they can't stop your favor. She said, those things, I can get it back if I just release this parasite that's just sticking to me and pulling me down. Kiera Taught Me says, I definitely understand that it gets tough to follow through sometimes. Jess says, I don't know why many always try to act right when you've taken action towards leaving. They never listen when you're talking. They ignore you. It's strange. My homie Miss Mazakine says, the thing about it for me is when they do put in effort, it lets me know that they could have been doing this the whole time and they deliberately chose not to. It is a choice. This is their behaviors. They do not want to participate until you're about to walk away. This person says, this pisses me right off. Mental Illness says he's going to call you ungrateful if you don't show appreciation. Stay safe on the way out. Typically, this can be the most dangerous time. Please know and understand that when a woman is leaving is definitely one of the most dangerous times, when she's leaving and when she's pregnant. Now I'm going to show you this exchange with Avarts and this man named Big Guy. Avarts says this, my in-progress ex has been better at housework and parenting since I asked for a divorce. So you mean to tell me the years I spent asking you to step up and do better could have been avoided if I asked for a divorce at the beginning of our marriage? But the thing is, it wasn't enough for me to be suffering for him to change. He had to be on the verge of losing his cushy life and access to our kids in order to change. I also didn't fall for it. And then Big Guy says, yeah, I'm sure you got better at paying the bills around the house too, right? Because these people simply do not understand that most women are working. Like, why won't they get this through their brains? And Kaylee says to Big Guy, she was probably doing all the budgeting and paying the bills with their money. If someone is a stay-at-home parent, they still contribute financially by keeping the money from leaving the home. If you add in all the extra services that you would have to do, which cost time or that you'd have to pay for, plus, is the working parent putting away money for retirement for the non-working parent? If not, then you can't afford the luxury of a stay-at-home parent, and you are a labor digger, especially considering there's hardly ever any gold. But Kaylee is also falling into a trap of imagining that woman was a stay-at-home parent. She did not say that. But Big Guy says, y'all will choose to be a stay at home parent and do nothing but complain about the choices you made. And then say there's not much gold, but you taken while adding nothing. So what does that make you? And like I said, that woman, our Varts, did not say that she was a stay at home parent at all. These two made that assumption for some strange reason. But at least Kaylee is not being negative about it. She's understanding that these women, even if they are stay-at-home parents, are still contributing to the household. So here's Arvarts setting the record straight, saying, who's choosing to be a stay-at-home parent? We both work from home, and I work 20 more hours a week than he does. And to that, Kaylee says, exactly. I'm currently a stay-at-home parent because it was financially necessary. It would actually cost us more for me to work. And I would love to work from home, but due to housing shortage, I live in the middle of nowhere, so internet is not reliable, which makes me an unreliable employee. And Arvard says, I hate that this is a thing. My sister went through that too. Daycare was going to cost more than her income. I'm sorry to hear that. I used to live rural, and my mom's house didn't get cell coverage or affordable internet until like 10 years ago. And that's the thing, the whole childcare shortage or the childcare being way too expensive makes it so challenging for people that want to have babies. So this is another thing that we have to continue to talk about, like the whole childcare situation. And all of that, it really puts people in a bind where some women, and it is typically women, are the ones that give up their jobs to stay at home with the kids. Men are not typically the ones that will stay home and be the stay-at-home parent. Alvar says, I've been handling the household finances since day one, and we split the bills and expenses in proportion with our income, but please go off. And to that, Duchess says, these sad little men clinging to the men make the money when that's not even true anymore. If all you have is your earnings to bring to the table, better step it up. Women are outpacing men in education and starting to reach higher levels in corporate, as well as doing most of the domestic labor. So a guy who thinks his $43,000 a year is all he needs to do will be the next Sears and find himself unneeded in the free market. And that is so true. They are working themselves out of a job by not doing more, because women are working and still handling the majority of the things inside the home and with the kids. And then finally, this is Tamika saying, my ex is circling at the moment, trying to perform a temperature check before he strikes, being super accommodating, polite, and considerate when discussing plans for our son. Mind you, he wasn't doing any of that a couple of months ago. I think he's bored of his latest conquest and realized the grass wasn't greener, but in fact, AstroTurf. I see those gestures for what they really are, and ignoring his attempts, asking for a hug at drop-off, and telling me he's always had this easygoing energy. Boy, bye. And then Miss Queen says, oh yeah, when that freedom isn't as fun anymore, here they come trying to get cool with you again. Keep it cool and keep it at a distance. These women are clocking it. I am here for this energy. Anyways, let me know what you think, y'all. Join the conversation, like, comment, share. Here we have a seemingly blindsided husband. He posted in the relationship subreddit saying, wife wants to separate, isn't willing to try anything else. He says, wife who's 32 wants to separate because she hasn't felt the spark in years. He says, I'm 35. He says, we've always kept up on dates and vacation and all of the typical stuff to keep the spark alive. Chores are split evenly. We both work. I mostly handle the kids. She is refusing to go to couples therapy and says she thinks separating might help her find the spark again, which I told her is total BS. I tried talking her through it, and she's just going in circles. We have 2 kids, and I can't imagine cutting my time with them in half. It can't happen. Please, any ideas on how to convince her of trying something? How can I make her see this isn't trying? Anything at all besides literally doing nothing. So his wife is giving up and he is at his wit's end. And like when they write these stories, it's always lacking. Like, why? How long has she been given up? How long has she just been checked out? It's like, I keep saying that these men are unreliable narrators where it comes to talking about the end of their relationship because he doesn't say anything about why she's decided to leave him or why she gave up. So Imaginary Ad says, it takes a lot for a wife and mom to finally think that separating is the best decision. Really think about how your relationship has been going since you had kids. Does she get time to take care of herself? No, not like go take a shower and do skincare, but like leave the house and take a workout class or see some friends. And if yes, does this happen regularly or not? Are the chores actually split evenly? Or do you just think that because she does so much that you can't see? I am not saying you're the bad guy. I have just seen this play out a lot, where the husband thinks he's done everything he's supposed to, but is yet dumbfounded when the wife wants to divorce. I think she's right. I think she may need some time apart to think about some things. Let her be. The kids will be happier when both parents are happy, not just one. Just some thoughts. Good luck. So then the OP says, yeah, things are even. She gets time to go out with her friends and work out and get her nails done. I'm the one kept at home. I care. I love my kids, but if anyone is lacking me time, it's me. Gal Squishness says, I'm so curious after reading your responses and picking up on your understandable resentment at this time, but why is it you want her to stay? You seem to have a negative view of her and feel you are the one doing the heavy lifting and holding of the family. It just doesn't seem like there is much value to you for her to stay other than avoiding a divorce, money and emotions, and the potential that your time with kids will be cut down. But I have yet to hear you say any reason why you would even want her to stay or how you're in love with her. How you two show, share, express love, desire, attraction over the last few years. I myself wouldn't stay in a place that I wasn't loved just for the convenience and social construct's sake. And I'm curious why you want to stay in a relationship where you don't feel those things implied from what I've read of your responses here. So he's not getting anything out of it, but why does he want to stay? Because men get a lot out of marriage. They just simply don't want to admit it. Even in a bad marriage, even in an unhappy or unhealthy relationship, they are still getting the benefits of marriage. And so, like, to take that away means that they would actually have to do all of the adulting, and he doesn't want to. That's what I'm thinking. So here's his answer saying, I thought she just wasn't as affectionate. Other than that, we still laugh and do healthy couple things. I don't want to list the areas she's deficient in. I'm not trying to bash her, but I'm pretty much responsible for all affection and the check-ins. How's your day going? That stuff. Distressing her and whatnot. So she's unhappy. He's not really understanding why she's unhappy. And we're still not completely we don't know why she's unhappy either because he's not saying anything. But he is still perfectly fine with trying to keep this together. Skylight says, dude, but do you realize your whole posting comments? I don't love her, but I want her to stay for the children, and I don't get why she doesn't agree. You can be the all-supporting person you say you are, have all the dates you want, but your attitude is clear as day. Your problem with her leaving is you will spend less time with your children. That's it. Do you really think someone would feel loved by someone with that attitude? She is right. There's no spark between you guys. You seem to have a to-do list of things that are the right thing to do to be a good husband, and you do them, and that's it. Do you really think someone would feel loved by someone with that attitude? She is right. There's no spark between you guys. You seem to have a to-do list of things that are the right thing to do to be a good husband, and you do them, and that's it. You don't even seem to like her as a person. She has a ton of flaws you don't want to list. Say one positive thing why you want her to stay. One thing. You have actually been bashing her here. You don't acknowledge any issues. You call her ideas BS. You say she has tried nothing, but you don't question yourself. Could it be she tried and I just didn't see it because we don't communicate well? Because if she doesn't do the things from your list, she is uncaring, when it could be she does other things you don't feel are worthwhile. For me, it's clear that the life you guys have is comfortable, and since you have your checklist of things to do to be a good husband, it feels like everything is okay and it's comfortable. Exactly. No spark. No real love. No, I am going to be so sad I won't be able to spend time with her. Additionally, you are even vindictive. You are saying, I will stop doing everything that makes me a good husband. She doesn't want to try anything. She is cold and uncaring. I'm putting all the effort. I give her everything she needs. And how dare she not agree with me? You want to lash out, understandably, instead of working on making sure your relationship remains good for your children. Again, the only thing you actually care about. It also could be that you are 100% right and it is all her fault. Still, being vindictive is not going to be productive for you. Calling her ideas BS either. She says she wants a separation, not divorce. Ask what does she have in mind. If that won't work for you, say it won't work for you and go for the divorce. If she's saying she wants some time apart, so you stop relying on the comfortable routine you have and fall in love again. Give it a try. So stop being comfortable, get a little uncomfortable, and see if maybe something can help reconnect. This person is trying to throw out some ideas. So the OP is really in the comments full blast. So this will be the last screenshot though. So one day at a time says, listen, it sounds like she doesn't want to be in a relationship with you and hasn't felt a connection in several years. I understand that you may not enjoy the thought, but you can't force her to stay when she's clearly telling you she wants out. Marriage counseling only works if both people want it. She doesn't want this anymore. It's happening. Keeping her against her will isn't going to change or fix anything. And to that, the OP says, I don't want to keep her against her will. I just wanted her to try anything. I've been the only one putting in effort and caring this whole damn time. So why do you want to continue to try? She doesn't want this. This is one of the things that irritates me about when women do this, when they are pulling men to try to keep them in these relationships or just making them give them a ring or making them marry them. It's not worth it, because in the end, the whole relationship you will be putting in more effort and energy than the other person. Do not get in a relationship with a person that is not completely in with you, because it is tiresome. It's stressful. Why do you want to live like that forever? Get with people who actively want to be with you, and that's it. All right, y'all. I'm going to end it with this one. I don't really even know what the issue is. I know that his woman don't want to be with him no more, and he's like, he wants to keep her. But this just goes to show that these men, even in a relationship that is not fulfilling, they still want to stay, because I do believe that these men know and understand that relationships benefit them. It benefits them in so many ways. And I've seen a woman say that marriage is DEI for mediocre men, because they get a lot out of it in the back end, or in their careers, or just with life is more fulfilling. And I do believe that these men know and understand that they get benefits out of being married. But I do want you to let me know what you think.
Marriage is DEI for men. It is a structure of male welfare. Okay? So marriage as an institution was formed as a contract of sale so that men could purchase women as property. And let's be clear, we weren't even talking women. We were talking pubescent girls. Pubescent girls. Okay? It was a contract of sale that a man could go and purchase a pubescent girl and purchase exclusive rights to her body, her sexual labor, her reproductive labor, her domestic labor, and her creative labor, right? If she was out there making baskets, he was going to take that to market and pocket the cash, right? So it was all about men being able to buy women as property. And that upends the natural order, right? Because the feminine is the gatekeeper to life, right? Natural selection flows through femininity, where women or females of any species choose the males that are worthy of procreation. And so there is no species on Earth where all males procreate, or even anything close to all males procreate. No. Marriage was invented to circumvent that reality, because having to develop yourself and cultivate yourself and gain cooperative skills and skills of contribution and be attractive and desirable to women, oh, that's so much work. That's so much work. You know what's a lot easier? collusion of violence to hoard all resources and enact organized violence against any women that seek to withdraw, that seek to go and make their own communities. No. You take them off the map. Hoard all the resources, commit to a collusion of violence to keep women trapped. And well, now men get to purchase women. They don't have to be anything to be entitled to procreate. It's forced breeding. That's the legacy of marriage. And so to this day, it has been DEI for men, right? And all of the studies conclude, like myriad of studies, when women are married to men, they live shorter lives, they are more stressed, less healthy, have more chronic diseases, they are more impoverished, more isolated, and more unhappy than single women. The reverse is true for married men versus single men. Married men live longer. They report being much happier. And it's because they're consuming, they're literally leeching the life out of women. That is why. And then single men, they're not as happy because they don't have that welfare. They're not consuming the energy and labor of women to subsidize their existence. So I have feminist videos up at Power Culture Coco on YouTube if you like deep dives into this kind of structural analysis. But don't get got. Marriage is DEI.